Welcome in, everybody. How we doing this evening? So what we're gonna do is wow, why is my screen so why is it so bright? What's going on? There we go. Damn, that was weird. All right, so what we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna break down some of the moves that went on this weekend in the NFL, this weekend in the NFL. Some teams went in and made some moves in free agency. We'll cover some of that. I'm gonna ask some questions in the chat tonight. So without further ado, let's start this. What's everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to No Huddle again. This week's edition. What is going on? Hope everybody had a wonderful week. Hope everybody's having a great start to the weekend. I know St. Patty's Day was this past week, so hopefully everybody had their fun on Tuesday night, got their drink on, got their green beer, and all the other happy crap that goes with it. And listen to bagpipes and all that other happy good stuff. So we're in the middle of free agency. Some teams have stepped up and made some big moves, some not so much. Some absolutely killed it. Some are still trying to find their way in this new season coming up. So we'll talk a little bit about everything. Phone lines are not open just yet. So I got myself here a little cheat sheet on some of the moves that went on this past week. And once we get some more people in here, some fans from some of the other teams and not just Raider fans, so we could talk it up a little bit more with them also to see what they think about what their teams did so far this free agency and if they think they made any great moves that are going to hopefully propel their team going forward. So basically just checking in, see who's in here with us right now. So right now, Darren's in the house. What's up, Darren? Ardell's checking in. What's up, Ardell? Jets haven't won a title since the moon landing. You're absolutely correct. Last time they won a title, I wasn't even born yet. So they've been waiting a little bit longer, and they've been waiting a little bit longer still. So we think we have it bad as Raider fans. Jets have it worse. I mean, granted, there are some teams that haven't even sniffed the Super Bowl yet. But some of them will probably get there before the Jets even, so I'm sure that'll happen too. So there's been a lot of moves. There's been some decent moves. I think one of the bigger ones, obviously, was the trade that the Broncos did this past week to get Jalen Waddle. Don't necessarily understand the whole reason for it, but and what they gave up for it on top of that too. I think that was a lot for him. I know I'm glad we weren't in the run for him. I wanted nothing to do with bringing him in. The Eagles added Andy Dalton. Brought in Hollywood Brown, I guess Damian Pierce is now there now too. Former running back for the Texans is now at Philly. So they're quietly building their team back up. Texans brought in Wyatt Teller, offensive lineman from the Browns. So that was an upgrade for them on their offensive line. Panthers added Dylan, Walker, and they traded Dalton to the Eagles. Vikings, I guess, looks like Carson Wentz is going back to Minnesota again to the Vikings. So now they've got J.J. McCarthy. They now have Kyler Murray, and they got Carson Wentz. So I don't know what their plan is up there for quarterback. I don't know if this is going to be Kyler's team. Is it going to be JJ's? It's going to be interesting, that quarterback battle up there, to see what they do and who ends up ultimately being the starter up there. Who beat two out for it, basically. So my question now is the Broncos getting Jalen Waddle. Does that change the AFC West a little bit more now? Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a good wide receiver. It's something that the Broncos needed. Does that make them a better team? I mean, they already had a good defense. Their offense wasn't that bad. I mean, shit, they made it to the AFC Championship game without their starting quarterback. Could things have been different if Bo Nix was playing and wasn't injured? I think so. I think they could have beat the Patriots. I really do. Not going to happen, Savage. Not going to happen. Still have it. Right here. Just give you a friendly reminder. Hang on. I'll be able to reach you without knocking everything else over. So I got it sitting right now. Just so you know what it looks like, so you don't forget. Just to give you a refresh on it. There it is. Just so you don't forget, Savage. That's what she looks like. And, nope, here's the dubby. There you go. Yeah, plug your show too. Cage match on Friday nights now. They were on tonight. Him in Asylum with Peggy. So Friday nights, 8 o'clock, they go on. Make sure you check them out. Cage match. Don't miss them. But yeah, here's your belt. You want me to put it on so I wear it so you remember that I still have it every week when I do my shows? You're not getting the belt back. The season hasn't even started yet. Calm down. Just draft the same team you had last year. You'll be fine. And would you consider the Eagles loading up by bringing in Andy Dalton, Hollywood Brown? I know AJ Brown's going to be gone, so they're bringing in someone else as another wide receiver. Man, Hollywood's got some years on him now. So how big of is that even considered? It's definitely not an upgrade, so you can't even consider that to be an upgrade for them. Antonio Pierce in the running game, that helps. That'll give them a little bit of a chance to give Saquon a breather every now and then. He's a totally different style running back from Saquon Barkley. Are they building to make another run at some point? It's possible. I hate you, like Dr. Claw. I hated the Inspector Gadget. Oh, you know what? Now that you're going nostalgic here with Dr. Claw and Inspector Gadget, take a moment here to reflect on an icon that was lost today. The wife told me this morning. I even said so. I said it's not true. He can't die. Chuck Norris, that shocked the shit out of me. I mean, Jesus, that's another one of my childhood icons now. From his time in the Bruce Lee movies and all the other Missing in Action movies, the Delta Force movies. I didn't really watch Walker Texas Ranger too much, but man, that just sucks that he's gone. And it's funny because I just saw a commercial with him and his wife about 2 weeks ago or a week ago about how he's in such great shape and he's so healthy, and then bam, now he's gone. That sucks. That's horrible. Well, he decided to go home to heaven. Actually, he's not dead. We're all dead. We're living in his dream. This is the other one I heard today, too. I thought that was a pretty good one, too. So, phone lines aren't open yet, but I think I'm going to open them up now. So, anybody that wants to call in, phone lines are now officially open. Here's the phone number, 401-830-9189. If you want to call in, we'll talk about whatever team you're calling in for. When you call in, just state your name and the team you're repping. He leveled up to angel status. Just state the team that you rep, and we'll bring up something. We'll talk about a topic on your team, and phone lines are open. So come on in, folks. Let's see, where is everybody tonight? Everybody's they all still out partying from St. Patty's Day. It's like a ghost town tonight. You see, is anybody else on right now? Oh. I mean, I know there's Raider fans in here. What's up, Shake? What's going on? Let's see. Astros, Rockets, Texans. Oh, you're a Texans fan. What do you think about the moves your team just made this week? You feel good about it, or what's your take on what the Texans have done lately? If you're happy with it, do you want to see them go different routes? Remember, phone lines are open. Area code 401-830-9189. So feel free. Anybody wants to call in, and we'll talk football. Doesn't necessarily, if it's not Raiders, it's any team you want to talk about. What's up, Devin? Say, hey, Nation, hope all is well. We got the results back on Raider. Oh, that sucks. Well, we'll hope for the best for him, for sure, brother. You know that. Damn. Shake says it looks legit. We got a good running back. Yeah, you know what? I think you guys would be good with the running back. I'm not worried about that. You guys picked up an offensive lineman. You brought in Wyatt Teller. That's definitely an upgrade for what you guys had. Anything you guys can do on defense is only going to make that defense even more lethal, because they were pretty damn good last year. That's for dang sure. What was I saying? Shit, I lost my train of thought. Well, let's ask this in the chat. Yeah, Devin, they're definitely making moves. Who do you think won free agency this week? Is there a team out there that you think really stepped up this week and made a difference with their? Oh, we got a phone. You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State your name and the team you're at.
Jeff, it's Money Chuckles representing the Raiders. How you doing?
What's up, Money Chuck? What's going on?
Good. Hey, I saw an interesting topic on another show, and I wanted to run this by you.
Sure.
So people are saying that we're seeing a resurgence of the running game, which I kind of agree with. Anytime a team wins a Super Bowl, whether it's defensive, this or that, I'm saying people are going to say, oh, look at them, I'm saying they did it this way. Seems to set a trend, or at least a mindset amongst fans. The NFL seemed to abandon the running game, like right around 2014, 2015. Mm-hmm. It became more of a passing league. I've always been under the belief that no matter what your forte is, whether you're a defensive team, an offensive team, a running team, pass heavy, this or that you just have to execute, and that any of those styles can win at any time. But I've been hearing other people say, just not valuing the running game. An example of, picking up Genty early. People say, you should never take a running back that early, blah, blah, blah. What's your thoughts?
I definitely agree with what you were saying about how it seemed like the NFL did get away from the running game. The running backs weren't. They hit this point where they weren't as valuable as they used to be. They weren't, and I don't think it was the fact that they weren't as valuable. I think they just weren't being used as much, as a true running back. A lot more of them were being more incorporated into the passing game, so they weren't being used in the true running back style. Like mm-hmm. guys of our age, we're used to the running backs from the 80s and the 90s and the 70s where it was a run game. You wanted a running back to get, 1,000 yards was a big deal. Now 1,000 yards isn't that big of a deal anymore. Now it's always higher than that because it's just the way the game evolved, I guess you would say. And I think the big shift was a lot of teams also went to running back by committees where you had two running backs back there that was splitting carries. We went through a phase where that was happening too.
I remember Bill Parcells did that with the Giants. They had a three-headed system. Yeah.
Yep. See, with me and the way I kind of realized it myself was I've done fantasy football for years. I've been doing it since '91. And there was a time where your first thing was you took a running back right away, regardless. And now it's shifted a little bit more where wide receivers value is going up, because of the number of catches some of these guys are getting on a consistent basis. Running backs aren't as valuable in fantasy stat wise, unless you're in a PPR and you can grab a guy like a McCaffrey, provided he's healthy. Guys that catch a lot of passes out of the backfield, that do they're multitask, I guess you would say, or multi-talented, I guess, or multi-versatile.
Mm-hmm.
Days of just a straight running back, they almost don't exist anymore. These guys have to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. So, do I see resurgence? I think so. I think there's a little bit of resurgence, but I think it's still going to take a little bit.
So Seattle had. I looked this up. Seattle had 29.2 carries on the average per game. With a two-back system, I still think Gentry's going to get a shitload of yards. You hand him the rock 20 times a game, the other running back 9. You know what I mean? 20 carries with a guy like that, especially later in the game. I'm hoping I'm not making a prediction because we'll see. But, if we do this shit right, we could very well see a 1,500-yard back, maybe 14, 15 touchdowns on the ground, you know what I'm saying, and whatever in the air. Really.
And I agree, because I've actually said that a few weeks or maybe a month or so ago. With the increase if we do the offensive line right, which we're off to a great start, okay, between the coach coming in that we got with Dennison, and with us picking up Linderbaum, a couple more pieces on that line to really solidify it. I think you could definitely see that because the second running back is only going to be a change of pace guy to give Gentry a break so he's not out there consistently. That was the problem last year was he was out there so much, but then the change of pace was Mozart. So when Mozart came in, it was a little bit different. But I think you could see that with Gentry this year. I think that's an extreme possibility where he could have that kind of, of an impact. I definitely expect more touchdowns from him, just like I expect more touchdowns from Brock in this system that they're going to run.
Right, exactly, especially with the play action pass.
Yep. What's up, Raider?
And one more thing. Do you ever watch Raider films by any chance on YouTube?
As far as like old school stuff or new stuff?
No. The guy's show is called Raider Films.
No.
Well, anyways, so he's pretty popular on YouTube. So he was he had a segment last night where he was talking about using Bowers wide out at times. He basically said that Kubiak said during his press conference, that he thought Bowers was one of the best receivers in the NFL. How do you see us using him? His whole argument is that the last piece we should put in place is a wide receiver because we can put Brock out wide, and he thinks that Kubiak's going to do that. Do you think that we can do that?
I honestly think Bowers is going to eat this year. I feel as though they're going to. He's too good to not utilize as much as possible. He's a matchup nightmare, first of all.
Right.
He's too big to go up against some of these corners, and he's too skilled, I think, for some of these linebackers. So there's no happy medium on the defensive side, I think, between a linebacker matching up with him or even a corner trying to cover him if he makes it past the second level. Um, and we've already seen it. The guy can catch just about anything you put near him. Amazing one-handed catch. You just got to put the ball in the vicinity and make sure that it's him. The ball's between him and the quarterback, and there's no defender that's going to come scooping in and stealing it from him. Because that's the only way you're going to see him lose an interception or lose a pass is if, the quarterback throws and the timing is off. But for the most part, I think Brock's going to have a huge year this year. Now,
I'll never forget
when he stays healthy for the whole season, dude, his numbers are going to be insane.
I'll never forget when we drafted him. We had just drafted Meyer, and I said that my first reaction is why did we draft this guy? I'm saying we just took a tight end last year. So then I went and did some more research on him. I saw claims that he's the best in the NFL. Next thing I know, he is in the NFL, and if you ask my opinion, he is the best.
Oh yeah,
that's one that Jeff. So how do I want to say this? I think when you're in the top of the draft, regardless of position, there used to be a point, where I'm saying where you wouldn't take a defensive tackle in the top 10. I'm saying, that's been in vogue now for at least the last 10 years now, 10, 12 years. But I remember a time that you wouldn't. A guard, you wouldn't take in the top 10. No. It's happened more frequently now. I really think, at number 6, we took the best player available on the board.
That's just it. And that's when you're picking in the top 10, if the guy that's best player available that's there when it's your pick and it's a need that you have that makes sense, then you grab them. Other than that, I think you should be taking the best player available, regardless if you've got a plethora of those players already. Because if that person or that player is that talented, why would you like Brock Bowers? We didn't need a tight end. We didn't have to grab him. We could have gone a different route. But with a kid of his caliber and his talent, why you'd be crazy not to take him. I mean, we said this the other night in the show. Atlanta did us a favor by taking who they took, because then we were able to take Brock at that point. I was like, oh, screw it. I guess we're going to take Brock Bowers, and look what his rookie season was.
I'm so glad we avoided Penix that year, man. I was not high on him.
I didn't want it. I didn't want it. Not at all.
Right. Well, we'll see what happens. I'll let somebody else come in. Always good talking to you. And by the way, one more thing I wanted to bring up.
Sure.
It's one of the more things I'm looking forward to this season is actually having a true competition, in camp. We got a brand new coach. He doesn't know these players, other than what he's seen on tape. I'm sure he's dug in a little bit, but he's going to have to see with his naked eye. Pete last year fucked us by not doing that. I'm glad to see, I'm saying that there's going to be a true competition, I'm saying, especially like at right tackle and some other key positions, to see, exactly how these players fit in.
Yeah, last year's competition was a joke. That was all they do is they messed with Glaze in JPJ's head. That's all they did. They caused confusion. I think they ruined the kids, both of them. I think they ruined their confidence with the way they handled everything. And I've been saying this now for a few weeks. They need to, as their first step when they get in there, is they need to sit these guys down separately and assure them that it's gonna be a legit competition for what positions they're gonna play. And they're gonna settle on it. Like there should be no bullshit with JPJ like they did last year, moving them around. The competitions that he had were just ridiculous.
Right.
There was just something else was going on behind the scenes there. We're just not privy to still. It doesn't sit right with me how that was handled. Not at all.
Well, we'll see what happens, but yeah. Jeff, me and you are close in age. I'm 54. I think you said you were 57.
Yeah, I'll be 50. I'm 55. I'll be 56 in May. So. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're closer. We're closer than I thought, old chap. But I'll tell you what, man. This is the highest we can raise our glasses in a while. Hopefully everything will work out. But I haven't felt this positive in a while, brother.
No, it feels good to be in this position right now. It really does. Well, we'll see what happens, when the product gets on the field, and that's the true test, obviously.
All right.
That's why I'm not putting a total number of wins on this season. I'm not doing it. This
Okay.
season's a pass as far as I'm concerned. What happens, happens. That's how I look at it. Next year's different. So,
all right. Hey, you in the chat have a good night.
all right, thanks, brother. You take care.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. You're on the air on No Huddle. State your name and the team you rep.
Hey, what's up, Jeff?
Hey, what's going on?
So, man, did you see what I just commented?
No, I'm trying to catch up with it right now. So hang on. About Kamara.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara is likely going to be available, and I feel like he would be the perfect person to sort of split time with Genty till Genty finds his footing, because he's one of the best in the league, and he can kind of be a mentor to Genty. You know what I'm saying? And we can probably get him for relatively cheap. So I think we should snatch up Kamara, brother. That's my take tonight. Go.
I get it. I'm not sold on him. I don't know. A couple of years ago, maybe. I don't know. I think he might. I feel like he needs to step.
We'd be bringing him in as a sidekick, as sort of a 1-2 punch, right?
Yeah, but he's still going to want his fair share of playing time now.
Right, but Genty would still take most of the carries.
I mean, but who knows? Kubiak, me, I honestly don't know. It's a good call. I mean, I don't know how I am on that, though.
Well, if Kamara isn't I mean, he's only like halftime, he's splitting time with Genty, his age should not be that much of an issue. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you're thinking about. So, you know, he should still have enough gas to sort of play like half the game he used to play. You know what I'm saying?
But it's also how's he fit with Kubiak's system, which we don't fully understand what he's going to do with this team. Because don't forget, I think the system matters based on the quarterback we end up going with. You know, is it truly Mendoza? Is it not? You know, I think that has a lot to do with it too. You know, is the offensive line going to be able to gel fast enough to where we can get the best out of both him and Genty? There's still so many question marks. I mean, it's not perfect. We're in a better place than we were last year, for sure. I feel anyway. You know, talent-wise on this roster, it's just a matter of how that talent operates on the field. You know, pretty much what I just said with Money Chuck at the end. It's like, you know, it all remains to be seen until products on the field, and we go from there. You know.
Well, we really loaded up. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I didn't say anything.
We really loaded up on defense, you know what I'm saying? And kudos to Spytech for that. He just chose one side of the ball to focus on. And, you know, I said last Monday night on the For Life Our Raiders channel, I said, I think our defense is a playoff-level defense now. That doesn't mean we're going to the playoffs, because we're not. But that side of the ball is playoff level now, I believe.
The defense? Oh, yeah. The defense is going to be huge this year.
Right. The defense is good enough to get us above 500, I think. You know what I'm saying? But
I think it's good enough to keep us in games for once. Right now, on paper, that's how it looks. You know?
Yeah.
That's the big thing, you know?
I still think we need to address receiver more aggressively than we have been. I mean, dude from Minnesota is good, but he's not the next Terrell Owens or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So
there is no next Terrell Owens out there, unfortunately.
No, but I mean, who's out there for receiver? I don't even know, but I think there's a couple of good ones left.
Not much. I mean, I haven't even looked at free agents available right now. Who's still out there for wide receiver?
That's kind of like the one area that we haven't really addressed corner that much either. Except that we re-signed Eric Stokes in that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Marshawn Lattimore's still out there, but I don't want to bang that drum again.
Dude, you slamming that drum.
Well, it would be so good for us, I think, as long as Lattimore stays healthy. But, yeah, man, I think a Kamara Genty sort of tag team in the backfield would be an awesome thing. You know what I'm saying? Just to bring it back to my original point. And as far as Kubiak can make anybody work within his system, man. You know, he's done this all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about how Kamara fits in, because Kubiak will figure out a way to fit him in. But with Alvin Kamara too, you get a lot of backfield passes too. You know what I'm saying? That opens up the whole backfield passing game, like, in a way that we really didn't have before. Because Kamara is really good at catching passes in the backfield and making like decent yardage out of them. You know?
Yeah.
So that's, a matter of fact, he's better at that than his pure running, if you ask me. But yeah, I think it would be good, and I think it would make our offense respectable. You know, but that's all I have to say tonight, I guess.
All right. Well, tomorrow night's the Raiders show, so we can definitely discuss this more tomorrow night if you want to. So, by far.
All right. Yeah, I always forget that.
That's all right. It's all right.
But all right, brother.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling in. I appreciate you. What's up, Ray, tonight? He was a free agent. I don't think we're bringing him back. Let's see. Savage says offenses are based on what's the trend from Wildcat to the spread offense. That's why running backs and even a fullback have been devalued. Oh, big time. Zamir, yeah, okay, Circus Raider. What's up, man? Duncan, what's up, my guy? I don't pull anybody up on Friday nights. Normally, Savage. The only reason I had everybody come in last Friday night was because of the Max thing. Calling in now anyway, so. You're on No Huddle. State your name and the team you're at. The Max thing. Calling in now anyway. Hello. You're on No Huddle. State your name and the team you're at.
Oh yeah, this is the.
You got the show playing in the background. I'm hearing an echo. Oh, you're on No Huddle. State your name and the team you're at.
Oh yeah, this is the.
You got the show playing in the back. Okay, I'm hanging that up. Bueno, what's going on, man? Dolphins won this week. They fleeced them. Oh, I think so too. I don't know what the hell the Broncos are thinking, but oh well. Watch Bowers be used somewhat similar to JSN, being moved all over the field. A bunch of dude, he's lethal. He's so versatile. I mean, I just can't wait to see how Kubiak uses him and how much he moves him around. Just like you said, I think he's going to have a huge year. Let's see, Darren. You guys, yeah. Carroll ruined all of our young guys' confidence. There was no reason Tyler Lockett should have been a Raider. Right? You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State your name and the team you're at.
Did you really hang up on me? This is the Oakland Raiders, Savage.
No, I did, because you had the show playing in the background. All I could hear was myself laughing over and over, and you going, "Oh yeah," over and over and over.
But I thought you liked hearing your own voice, because you like to brag about the belt all the time.
Oh, you mean this belt right here? Because I know you're still watching this one. What's up, brother? What's going on?
Going to my comment that I put about the offense, we're going to get the fullback back with the guy Hayward that we got from Pittsburgh.
I like that move.
And yes, and that's one thing that we missed since Ingold. And then one thing I noticed, going all the way back to the Wildcat, because when the Wildcat was brought in by Tony Sperano, then teams started trying to replicate it, because it's a copycat league. And then when other teams' defenses realized that how to defend it, then that got erased real quickly. And I believe with the Chiefs and their spread offense, using receivers as running backs, and the same thing with the 49ers with their offense using receivers as running backs like Deebo Samuels. Mm-hmm. That's what kind of killed the running back position until the Eagles won it 2 years ago, beating the Chiefs. So I think that the resurgence of the running back is going to come in soon. And then with the fullback coming in, because, the Raiders offense, when it's successful, always had a running back that led the charge for the running back behind him. My golden years was the early 2000s with John Ritchie. And John Ritchie with his, busting through the line with his bleeding forehead. And then with Zach Crockett being that fullback, that 1 yard, 2 yard, third down, touchdown conversion. So,
it's funny you talk about the fullback part, right? Because if you go as far as, let's see, 20, 30, 31. So this is how underutilized the fullback position is in the NFL, right? So as of right now, in 2026, there's still two free agent running fullbacks, Ben Van Sumeren from Philly and Michael Burton from the Broncos, right? Next year, in 2027, it'll be Juzek, Ballor, Beck, Prentice, and Matlock, right? In 2028, it's Rashad Ingold, Lupke, and Lamp. And then in 2029, it's Reggie Gilliam. In 2030, there's none. Like, so for 2030 on, there's no fullbacks that would be free agents, basically. So we're down to the last group of fullbacks in the NFL, period, right now.
Yeah.
There's basically just a handful of fullbacks that even exist in this game anymore to begin with. So like you said, is there going to be a resurgence of fullbacks coming back again? I don't know. It all depends on how the offensive scheme transitions going forward. Now that Kubiak's a head coach, are there going to be guys that fall off of his tree? Like McVay had his tree, and he's got guys going off and being head coaches, and so is the same thing going to happen with Kubiak if he's successful? A guy's going to move on from being in his system and taking what they've learned from him and doing that same thing where fullbacks start to make a resurgence again. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes in the future. But as of right now, it looks like we're down to like maybe eight or nine fullbacks in the entire league right now. I mean, remember when every team had a goddamn fullback,
Yes.
Now they're like far and few between.
Well, see, people don't understand how valuable the fullback is, even in real life situations. When I was younger, I used to pride myself as the wingman for my friends when we go to the club. But I didn't call myself the wingman. I called myself the fullback. I had to be the one that had to get the hard yards, where I had to be the one that takes the first contact, with a group of girls and be like, hey, how you guys doing? Da-da-da-da. Oh, by the way, here's my friend so-and-so. He kind of likes you. Da-da-da-da. And I had 100% success rate when it came to being that bar hopping fullback. So when it comes to football offense,
I will say I used to use the same mentality when I used to bounce in the nightclub downtown Providence years ago. I used to tell, because I was like, we had the head bouncer, and then it was myself and then everybody else. So I used to always tell them, I said, if we had a fight in the dance floor, I said, just follow me in. I'm basically going to be your lead block, whether it's fullback, whatever you want to call me. And if it was a big fight, like a group of them, I would just run into the fray with my arms out wide, and I would scoop as many as I could in one shot and just push them all right up against the wall. And then all the other guys would come in and grab a guy, and half the time, by the time I'm done moving them all, I stand up, or I finally look around. I got nobody to grab because everybody's already grabbed somebody and they're running them out the door already. So it was like a beautiful thing. The fights would be over like that, It was great.
But see, that's our offensive lineman personality. Where
head down off my shin, I won't get hit, but because they'll all be shocked because they're like, "What the fuck's going on?" This guy just pushed his whole pile into the wall. Yep. Fight's over.
We take the hits. We know how to pull to go to our blocks. We take the hits, but you know that our position, there is no. We don't get recognition for it. We do it for the team, and that's what the fullback is.
The best you get is the college award in college when you come out here. Offensive linemen don't get jack shit.
Yeah, we don't get nothing. There's no Heisman lineman. I used to go, where's the Heisman lineman at?
Yeah.
So that's
no
where
offensive
the fullback,
lineman of the year.
Yeah, they started that this year. Out of 102-3 years of football, oh, you know what? The offensive linemen are very important. Yeah, because he keeps your quarterback upright to throw to your receivers, your higher paid position.
Yeah. Without us, the quarterback's hurting.
Yeah, I don't care if Tom Brady's back there. If he ain't got no line, he ain't going nowhere. Surprised he did it. He did as much as he did with Tampa Bay when he had Kappa blocking for him. But as I said, I feel like if Kubiak, comes in, because you've seen that with the Seahawks, that they were able to run up and down the field, or at least tire the front line, the front defensive line for the Patriots in the Super Bowl to where they were able to find more holes and run long, run up and down the field against them later in the game. That the running game is going to be very important. That's the running back, and then we have a fullback who can take that initial hit. He's like that extra offensive lineman that can go in there and open up or bust open the hole for Genty to adjust or whatever, because we're going to go into this zone blocking scheme that historically the Raiders have not been great at when it comes to the zone blocking scheme. We've seen it many years when it came to Shanahan and the Broncos and John Elway and Terrell Davis and all those guys, and then anybody else who succeeded after Terrell Davis while Shanahan was still coaching over there, the father Mike Shanahan. But if Kubiak, coming from that background, can replicate that with the offensive linemen that we have, that they are able to be that athletic to go side to side more than just going man up like we're used to with the offensive line philosophies that we've had in the past. We can't go by the last couple of years with Getsy's offense, and then also with Brandon Carroll's. Let's not talk about that whole mess that was last year.
Yeah, right.
Pete Carroll. But I feel that if we can at least establish the run, that's the main thing that we got to do this year, is establish the run.
Oh, definitely. I think we're going to be a heavy run team. I think Genty's going to be able to run his ass off this year. And I still want to see us put JPJ at left guard. I want to see Miller, JPJ, and Linderbaum locking down that left side, and that's where Genty's going to make his money right there.
Well, yeah, and that's another point too. I like JPJ at left guard, but it all depends on who's going to be on that right side. I know DJ Glaze, he had a very good rookie year coming in, and then it seemed like the whole offensive line took like 5 steps back when it came to Brandon Carroll and whatever they were trying to do last year in the offensive scheme with the blocking scheme and everything. But I like, if they can find their right tackle, whether it's the rookies that we brought in last year that we didn't get the chance to see with Pete Carroll, and I saw that in the comments earlier too. But I wouldn't mind trying to move in DJ Glaze in the inside on the right guard position, and have maybe a Charles Rogers or I'm forgetting the other lineman we had at right tackle. Grant at right tackle.
I think the true competition on this front line is going to be should be on the right side, and there's 4 guys that should be in the mix, and that would be Grant, Rogers, Buford, who we just brought in, and Glaze. I think those 4 guys need to compete for those 2 spots. And if it means mixing them up and trying them at different, whether they try out at guard and tackle, I think that's the side that needs the attention. Is to at least lock in the 2 starters there. Let those 4 guys go at it. And if we pick up somebody in the draft, and they're part of that mix too. Throw Meredith into that mix too at that point, because he's back with us. Wagner's here too, so throw him into that mix. That's the side that needs the help, is the right side. I want a solid left side, and I want that left side locked down, so that totally takes care of the blind side for Mendoza, and we can feed Genty to run off that side. You want to run a few plays off the weak side and surprise somebody? Fucking go for it. Mix and match. I think that's just a great way to test this year.
Let me ask you one last question.
Sure.
With the defense switching over to a 3-4, which the Raiders have won their 3 Super Bowls in a 3-4 defense. I know that's 40 plus years ago since their last one in '83, but still, it is one of those fun facts. If they won their 3 Super Bowls in a 3-4 defense. Do you think what's more important? I guess I can say. When it comes to that front line, with the defensive side learning to adjust to a 3-4 defense, or the offensive side, the offensive line learning to adjust to a zone blocking scheme. What do you think is going to be the most important when it comes to the development and the success of 2026 going into this year?
Honestly, I think the defense is the tougher one, to be honest with you, because nobody really on this roster that I'm aware of has run that. We don't have a true nose tackle right now. We don't have a zero technique guy. The closest to it we have would probably be Butler, which is why I'm big on round 2. I want us to grab a bona fide zero technique nose tackle out of this draft. I don't want to be, I don't want to be using projects that are already on this roster and hey, let's try this guy nose tackle. No, it didn't work. Let's try this guy nose tackle. No, I want a guy that knows how to handle that position, that knows how to, to eat the blocks up, basically, seal those gaps. Let your edges, let your linebackers, let them do their job. If you can eat those blocks up, then that's all you got to do. It's all you have to do. But I want somebody that's used to playing that position. I don't want somebody that's like, oh, let's put Laki Tassi there. No, stop it. No, let's put.
Hey, I said that on my show. Okay, I feel attacked right now.
You said what? You said
I
what?
said Laki Tassi at nose guard.
I didn't hear you say that. That's not why I said it. It's like yeah, we got guys on the roster, but it's going to take some time for them to get used to playing in that system too. That's why I think the defense is going to be the hottest one to get that. We get the right guy in it, then game over. Let's roll.
Tyree Wilson, nose guard, get that bull rush in. Oh yeah. All right, yeah. I'll get off the line now, but that belt's mine next year, okay? So don't get too comfortable with it, right?
All right, buddy. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate you, Savage. And I love my belt.
Oh, yeah.
I love belt.
All right, take care.
Man, that call was just amazing. No pressure for the rest of you numbskulls.
So Bill M, what's up, 805? Sorry, I'm getting back to the chat here real quick before we get another phone call. Bill M, 49ers have had the best free agency period, rated second. Okay. Just got home from work. What's up, Bueno? Let's see. Nation. What's up, Raider Ryan? What's going on, my guy? Let's see. Scream, what's up, my guy? What's up, man? How you doing today? Y'all like to hear yourselves all the time. Classic phrase. You all just said, Raider up. Say, Nuna, how about them Brownies? How about them? How you feeling about the moves they made? Are you happy with them? Want to talk about it? Phone lines are open. 401-830-9189. This is open to all NFL fans. This isn't strictly a Raiders show. Unfortunately, the first three guys that called in are all Raiders fans, but that's fine. What's up, AO? What's going on, man? Let's see who else is here. Titans had a pretty good free agency. I think the Titans are doing all right too. I was telling Marcus that the other day that they're quietly assembling a decent team. I think. I mean, if the time for them to strike would probably be this year for sure. I mean, Texans. I don't know. The Texans got a little bit better. Jacksonville. I don't know what's going to happen with them. They could definitely make some moves this year. What's up, Frank? When I first got interested in football, almost every team's leading rusher was the football. Yeah, right? Think about it. Let's see. Circus Raider said Jetty's going to be nasty with Powerball opening the way for him. I hope so, man. Hey, what's up? You're on No Huddle. State your name and the team you rep.
Man, Jeff, what's good, man? It's Scream, bro.
Hey, what's up, man?
Ain't nothing, man, I was waiting for the other 31 flavors to jump in, man. It's just been Raider back to back to back to back, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I was trying to be patient with it, but I was like, man, I've been working on, you know what I'm saying, like what I do annually and stuff with the 53-man roster, the amount of draft picks, compensatory picks, that's something different to me. I don't know. I ain't seen that happen over the decades I've been. As I heard you and the first caller, can't remember the brother's name, but y'all was talking about y'all was in the 50s. I'm in my 50s, so like I've been drafting up my own boards, but like y'all are live doing this stuff. I just be going pen and paper. I old school. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but what do you think, Jeff? Honestly, brother, I honestly want to hear what you think the Raiders should do with that first pick right now in a minute, in like
number one pick.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows what I want to do, and that's trade back. But I know we're going to take Mendoza, so we're going to have the quarterback. I mean, I'm just going to be beating a dead horse by keep saying, trade it. They're not going to trade it. We're going to take Mendoza. Gotcha. I think it's going to be a bad move, but whatever. It is what it is. What are you going to do?
Got you.
I think the most important thing, in all honesty, is that second round pick. What we do there. If that kid Hunter or McDonald is there, the two nose tackles, we got to take either one of those two. We have to.
I like both of them. Like, I'm not really sold on Mendoza, but I don't hate on Mendoza because, like, he's already earned his first pick to somebody. So if it's the Raiders, cool, let's go. But he gonna have to earn his way. That's one thing I know for a fact. It's like y'all remember the 2014 draft? It was like once Matt Flynn got dropped off and DC became the dude. DC really didn't compete with nobody for the next 8-9 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't always. I don't even care if you got a C on your jersey. You got to compete every single. That's how you get the C and the stars.
Well, I mean, it's not Carr's fault that we also didn't draft anybody to really come in and challenge him in all those years. I mean, the closest we ever came to it was Marcus Mariota. We never brought in a legit threat to take his job from him. So he never had to excel beyond what he had already proven on the field. There was never any real pressure on him. Never was. He never had to look over his shoulder and worry about another quarterback potentially taking his job and go, oh, shit, I better play better or I'm going to be gone. So that's not his fault. That's the Raiders' fault for not bringing anybody in. We should always draft a quarterback every year regardless. There's two players I say every season in the draft you should be taking, and that's a quarterback and a left tackle, no matter how late in the draft. You should always be trying to fill those voids for future reference. Because the left tackle, because it's the toughest position to fill in football, and a quarterback because you're always looking for the next great quarterback, and whatever you can get, you get what you can get. I think those are the two positions every single draft, regardless based on needs, you need to come away with no matter what.
Hey, like the first person other than, in our case, Linderbaum, that's going to have the ball in his hands first, and then he hands the ball to the quarterback. So regardless of who the quarterback is, you got to make sure there's a backup, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you got to cover that backup's blind side, which majority of the time is going to be a right-handed quarterback. There's very few left-handed quarterbacks, but some of them have been successful, going back to Steve Young in his days. But that means you got to cover the other side. But so would you rather work offensive or defensive? If the players that that I know, that the world knows, is signed to the Raiders currently, draft picks are it depends how the GM and the head coach and the coaching staff work together with picking. Would you go? I guess let's go opposite of the first pick. You would go nose tackle
in the second round. Yep.
Okay. Now you and the other brother, Brother Savage out of Oakland. Mm-hmm. Y'all was talking about that fullback position. Now the fullback position is y'all are right. It's kind of a dying breed. I'm glad we got Hayward though, because honestly, he might be the last of a dying breed.
It's not so much a dying breed. It's not like there's players out there that don't play it. It's just that teams just don't run that type of system anymore. Kubiak will run that type of system. So where the fullback will be needed, just less teams running that position. It's not necessarily that, the running backs are just not there. I mean, the fullbacks just aren't there anymore. It's just they're there. It's just that in the college years, in the college ranks, they may use them, but in the NFL, we're not using them as much. You know, so.
Now, I've seen several successful, even over our losing decades with the Raiders. I've seen a couple that have been very successful, but that it's still not a position of need. They'd rather throw in a slot receiver or blah blah blah. Second tight end. So, when you speak nose tackle ain't even mentioned that much, like Bill Purcell. You know what I'm saying? Super Bowl Raider back in the '83, like Raider Savage just mentioned back in '83. But the 3-4 defense, we want to call it a nose tackle now. In 2026, right before the draft, we want to call it a nose tackle because we realize, okay, the Raiders want to run the 3-4 defense, but it's still the same business. You need the big boy in there to handle all the business the same way you move jokers off in Rhode Island, right? But
yeah, well, I mean you're gonna remember some of these guys coming out of college. When you look at the draft board and by position, they're not listed as nose tackles. They're just listed as defensive tackles, but they played as a nose tackle in college. So right, you're not going into the draft. You're not going up on the card and writing, Raiders are drafting Hunter, nose tackle. They're saying defensive tackle because that's how he slotted in the system. That's how they word it. But he's a bona fide nose tackle. And that's what we need. We need a definite nose tackle, not a defensive tackle that's converted to playing the zero technique nose tackle position. So that's why you want to get a guy that's used to playing that spot.
Trust me, man. Jeff, I'm picking up everything you're putting down. I understand because I just had a whole rundown with my 25-year-old son that's over in Georgia, and I'm in Texas. But a big shout out the Black Hole for Hood chapter. But anyway, like Hunter is a nose tackle. They're gonna categorize him. They already have categorized him as a DL. Banks is a DL. Peter Woods is a DL.
Mm-hmm.
There's several jokers that could be right there in that 3-4 defense, and probably gonna slide into the 36 slot. One of those three is probably going to slide into the 36 slot in the NFL draft.
Yeah, but if Hunter's there, Hunter's the ultimate one you're going to want. Him or McDonald over those other guys by far.
Caleb Banks and Peter Woods, they beasts.
But if I have a chance to draft either Caleb Banks or a Lee Hunter, and I know that Banks is dealing with a broken foot. Yes, I know it's a broken bone. But I know for a fact I can draft a guy like Lee Hunter who doesn't have any physical injury issues. He's got none whatsoever. Why would I not take him over a guy that's got a broken bone? Yes, it will probably heal in time. It's not going to be an issue. But if I'm going for a sure bet thing, health-wise, I'm taking the guy that's 100% healthy over the two. That's how
okay, say if your man Lee Hunter is there at 36 and Caleb Banks is there at 36, and you in Spytek's chair getting his paycheck and doing all the due diligence that you're supposed to do as a general manager of the Raiders, right? And you take Hunter because he has no broken bones.
Yeah, I would take Hunter.
Right. And Hunter goes down in week 1, week 2.
Well, now you're talking hypotheticals. I mean, that could happen to anybody. He could do that walking into the shower or walking from his car to the house. I mean, there's no guarantee after they're drafted they're not going to get injured.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hypothetically, just because he didn't go through it in his junior or senior year at Texas Tech, and Caleb Banks put a little bit more effort in down in the Southeast Conference, the SEC, which is a lot more demanding than Texas Tech out there in the Big 12. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just a lot more going on, in my opinion, down in the Southeast Conference of college football. There's a lot more athletes than Mendoza that just came out of the Big Ten. We'll just put it like that. So, and I went from nose tackle to quarterback because that's the closest way to get to the ball, whether you're on offense or defense. And Linderbaum got to hold that big joker down, whether it's Banks coming in at like 6'8", 6'8", or Hunter coming in at 6'6". One got a broken bone from previous, and one is got a clean bill of health. But Mendoza is gonna get hit by one of them jokers, and both of them are way bigger than him. Now this is how you practice. You practice the way you play. So Linderbaum got to be that buffer, right?
Oh yeah.
Including.
But the problem is though, in the NFL now with the NFLPA and all the rules they put in practice, they can only have one practice a week where they actually have physical contact. So you're not going to get a lot of one-on-one time with Linderbaum trying to block him, and it's just not the same like it used to be. Like there's no two-a-days like it used to be. NFL's become so pussified. I guess you could say they've done it so that they've done it so they eliminate the injuries. I mean, I get that part. But they can only be in pads 1 day a week during training camp, 2 days a week, limited time. It's not the same like it was, 20 years ago where, these guys were in pads all the time, smacking each other, pushing each other. It's not like that anymore. It's so laid back now to prevent injuries, to, sustain these guys to play longer. So there's so many more rules that are put in, and it's ridiculous. So, that's like when they talk about practice, it's like, how much are they even getting accomplished in practice?
Bro,
they're spending more time running through plays than they are actually physically smacking into each other and trying to tackle the guy. And that's why you see tackling is so bad in the NFL, because they're not getting a chance to practice it on actual players. They're practicing it on freaking tackling dummies. I don't even think they hit the sleds anymore like they used to. So you don't even see that shit anymore. So it's so different from like I said, 20 years ago to now. It's changed so much that practice just isn't the same. You get more practice in other sports than you do in football, to be honest with you. Like physical game time style type practice. You don't get that in the NFL anymore. It's extremely limited. And
we play baseball. We play baseball.
What's up, Marcus?
Softball, my family, but. Like, I don't want to absorb too much of the show, and I was going I really wanted to break down my little 53-man roster real quick, but I'm done with that, man, because, like, we was done on quarterback and nose tackle and fullback and center. I think those are the only 4 positions we basically covered, and all the rest of them, they just out there collecting big checks, and boys got to turn into men. Boys, not boys to men. They just need to. Boys should be men by now. And but we'll see how it go, man. I do got a breakdown for the whole thing though. But it's just from my perspective, of course, which ain't shit. And I put pen to paper, and I put thought process into every single thing, and I run through make sure things make sense, like the people making.
I do have another call coming in, though, Scream. I do have another one coming in.
All right, hey, all y'all be peace, man. And I'm
all right,
out.
Thanks, man. You're on No Huddle with Jeff. What's your name and state your team?
It's your old pal Kenneth here.
Hey, what's up, Kenneth? How you doing, brother? How you doing?
I'm all right, man. Hey, I don't know if you remember, there was a trade that went down today.
Yes.
Sidney Brown got picked up by Philly from Atlanta for a couple of picks.
That one I think I missed. You talking about Hollywood Brown? No.
Sidney Brown.
No, I didn't miss
Atlanta traded him to Philly for a couple of picks. It was a fourth and a sixth.
Yeah, no, I didn't catch that.
It's on ESPN's website.
Did it just happen?
Yeah, it just happened probably not too long ago.
You know what? I did not see that. So the Falcons acquired safety Sidney Brown and trade with Philly on Friday. The deal also included a swap of 4th and 6th round picks. So the Falcons will send number 114 and number 197 to the Eagles in exchange for Brown, the number 122 pick and the number 215 pick. Brown, so
I just happened to see it, and I was like, I figured I'd let you know. I didn't know if you had known about it.
No, but I see your Texans made some moves.
Oh yeah.
You guys ended up with Wyatt Teller, so that's a good move for you guys.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's definitely going to help our line. Because like I said, that was one of the main things that we needed to do was improve the line.
Yeah, no, he'll definitely improve it for sure. I mean, it's better than what you had prior to that, you know.
And then I like the pickup that we got of Reed Blankenship when we picked him up from Philly.
I see Antonio Pierce. Oh, not Antonio Pierce. Oh my God. What the hell's his name? Your running back. Your old shit. Who's your old running back?
The last one we had was Mixon.
No, the other one. Oh my God, he just went to Philly. Damian Pierce. That's who it was. Damian Pierce.
Pierce went to Philly?
Yeah, he went there.
What's the did they say what the how long the contract is?
No, I didn't see that. Let me see if I can find that. See if we can find something on that.
I hate to see him go, but we definitely improved when we picked up David Montgomery in that trade with Detroit.
It doesn't say. I don't think there's a contract on for him yet.
Did you also hear about that Raiders succession plan that was being talked about?
Yeah, basically what that is, and this was a big misconception because everybody was talking about it yesterday and people were getting it incorrect. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's selling the team." No, he's not selling the team. This is just a
plan in place, so to speak.
Yeah, basically, it's a contingency plan, is what it is. Or there's another word I used yesterday. It's basically if Mark Davis has no heirs, okay, so he's got no kids, he's got no nieces and nephews, he's an only child, so he's got nothing. His mom and dad are both now passed. It's a contingency plan, is basically what it is. So if he were to say pass away, the ownership is not going to be left in limbo and has to go through, a state and all that crap. This is a clear succession, basically, is what it comes down to. So this gentleman, where's his name? I just had it here. He is Egon Durbin. He is part CEO of a software company that is into investments and such, and they own part shares of the Raiders. So what happens is he would then have the right to buy the team first before anybody. So if he buys the team, then obviously he becomes the owner along with his Silver Lake Entertainment, or whatever the hell the name of the place is. But the big thing about this too is because of the value that he would bring to the organization at that point, the value of the team will increase dramatically. So the value of the team will go up to like $10 million. So the team's going to be worth even more money than what it was when Mark Davis and family owned it. So it's going to be an increase to the team, which means the team's going to have more ability to do other things. So all this is just them getting their P's and Q's in order, crossing the T's and dotting the I's. The NFL owners have to vote on it. I know they're not going to turn this down. This is the succession plan. But if he would ever end up taking over, they would then have to vote in favor of him being the owner. But at least there's a clear standard set. So when it happens, because a lot of these other teams, like the Hunt family, it just gets handed down from family member to family member because there's so many of them. The Wellington Maras from the Giants. That's how it was for years. The Hallis
and
family.
The Tishes.
Yeah. It goes from family member to family member as someone else passes on. You don't have that with us anymore. So there has to be a clear.
The McNairs when they owned my beloved Texans.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. That's what I got from it when I read about that succession plan. I was thinking it was probably just another contingency plan.
Yeah, that's all it is. Everybody was taking it the wrong way and was saying, the team, he's selling the team. No, he can sell more shares, which is what he's doing. He's selling more minority owner shares, which he's got every right to do. But he's not team anytime soon. This only is just a protection for the organization, is what it comes down to. Because if he would have, say he passes in the middle of the season and with no clear-cut owner, the team is going to be in disarray until the NFL steps in and gets it corrected. Because then the NFL will get involved. Yeah. And that's the last thing we want. We don't want the NFL involved in who's going to decide who runs this team. If there's already a clear succession set, then we're good to go. Nothing would change from day-to-day operations, So this is just
another question that comes.
That's all.
Another question that comes to my mind is if, in fact, the team does get sold, does that mean a possible new stadium for them?
No, I don't see the team moving. That
means
that stadium's too.
I didn't say moving. I said, do they get a new stadium, though?
No, the stadium's brand new. It's only, 6 years old now? No.
Yeah.
No, it's still one of the most state-of-the-art stadiums out there until something else is built. I mean, Buffalo's ain't going to be any better than us because it's not even a dome. The next closest that's going to have a better stadium than us would be maybe KC if it's a dome. They're going to up their game with it. I don't know of anybody else right now that's in negotiations to build a brand new stadium other than the Chiefs if they end up moving to Missouri to Kansas. Because I think they want
WWE is going to be out there next month with WrestleMania.
Yeah, they got a contract with that for a few years, I guess.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the first part of April.
Yeah. But there'd be no need for us to get a new stadium, and I don't see them moving the team, to be honest with you, because not for nothing. Any other city they go to, the value of the team's going to drop. It's going to drop because of where they are with the no state tax and everything. It's a damn gold mine. Mark Davis's best decision was moving that team to Vegas, to be honest with you. I know people will argue otherwise, but for a business standpoint, the smartest move he made. That the team almost tripled in cost as far as the value of the team in that time frame that he moved it from the time he moved the team to Vegas. So that was a huge hit to the wallet, fattened it up.
I've also heard that the NBA is supposed to be might get a team in Vegas.
That's what I heard. Somebody was talking about it the other night in one of our shows. I don't follow that.
But they did mention something about possible expansion, and two of the cities that they did talk about was Seattle and Vegas, from what I was hearing.
I mean, it only makes sense to go to Vegas. I mean, you've already got now an NFL team there. You've got a baseball team there. You've got a hockey team there. You know, why not have a representative from the NBA in there now too? So you've got all four major sports in Vegas. I mean, it's already a destination capital of the world, basically. You know, add another sports team to it. You've got the women's basketball league here. You know, won championships here multiple times already. I mean, will it ever be considered a sports town? Not in the sense of like some of these other cities, but it could grow into that. You know, I mean, right now we're the weakest link in that sports territory in Vegas. You know, we're the one team that's just not done much, although the A's are either, but
Actually, I don't think they've moved the A's to Vegas yet.
no, they're playing in Vegas. They're not in Oakland anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, they're already playing. They're already building a stadium and everything. And so
okay.
That's a good. That's all a go already. So.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Wow, I'm way
I've been really watching this NCAA tournament, and it's been quite entertaining so far.
I haven't even watched a single second of any of the games. I got a bracket. I put a bracket together, but I haven't watched a single game. So I'll watch it when the final 8. You know, some Sweet 16 on. I'll start watching it because they'll eliminate.
Yeah, you got probably the Sweet 16 is supposed to start in about a couple of weeks because they're finishing up the first round tonight, and then they'll start the second round second rounds over the weekend. So you'll know the Sweet 16 by the end of the day. By the end of the day Sunday.
Yeah.
You'll know by then, because I'm gonna be watching, because I got 2 teams in this whole. I got 2 teams in these tournaments that I'm watching.
What teams you rooting for?
I'm a Longhorns guy.
Okay. Who's the other one then?
I'm talking about both the men. I'm watching.
Oh, the men in the
caps on both. Yeah. My Longhorns, they beat NC State in the play-in, and then they beat BYU in the first round. They're playing Gonzaga Saturday. And then my Longhorn ladies won their opener.
I picked Gonzaga.
We shall see. Anyway, my man, I do appreciate you taking my call.
No problem, man. I'll see you next week, I'm sure. I'll be here next Friday.
All right, buddy.
All right, man.
All right.
Take care. Thanks. Let's see. What's everybody talking about in the chat? You guys with the corporate crap, knock it off. That ain't going to happen. Jesus Christ. You guys, you get all your panties in a bunch. Your corporate's going to take over. It's still going to be a football team. Players have to carry suitcases. You guys are fucking retarded. Let's see. When fans want an autograph, players will have a notary. Wow. Post-it notes. Oh my God. What the fuck? Jeff, the Kentucky versus Santa Clara game was insane. Again, I don't watch it, man. Horns down. I'm realizing I don't have much patience. Oh, I don't have patience either. I mean, the only way you can show I have patience is I tolerate Bueno being in the chat. Other than that, I got no patience. I'd kick him out myself if I could. But I won't. So, all right, phone lines are still open, folks. So if anybody wants to call in, Angela, if you're still in the chat, my Friday nights format has changed. It's not the same like it used to be. It's not a pull-up show. It's strictly just it's basically me talking with fans of any and all teams in the NFL. It tends to be more Raiders because that's who follows me the most, the Raider fans, obviously. But I've been getting more and more fans of other teams slowly trickling in. Like Kenneth, he's a Texans fan. He calls in every week. I've had a few others, from Broncos fans. The only thing I ask the mods is, when a fan comes in and starts talking about their team, leave them be. The only time I want you guys to kick anybody is if they're being racist or they're spamming the shit out of the channel with nonsense. That's it. Anybody else, just leave them be. If I got a problem with them, I'll take care of them myself. So I'm trying to draw fans of other teams to, be comfortable coming in here. So I don't want them getting kicked just because they say Raiders suck. Well, we know we suck, okay? It's not like they're telling us something we don't know. So what's up, Marcus? What's going on, my guy? So that's the biggest thing with that. So, but yeah, I changed the format. Right around the first of the year, I changed it from the old pull-up show where we brought total chaos on the show on Friday night. It just got to be too much. It had run its course. We've been doing it for over a year, and I was done. It was time for a change of pace. So I got this show Friday nights that I do where I take live phone calls from fans throughout the NFL. And then Saturday night, it's Raider Nation Voices with myself and Jason Downs, where we talk strictly Raiders football with anybody that wants to call in and talk about the Raiders. So that's where it's Raiders pretty much 99.9%. So what's up, Tanner Jack? No, Donkey fans are welcome. All fans are welcome. What if they're racist against the Raiders? Can I kick them? No, if they're racist in general, if they come in and saying racist shit, yes, you can get rid of them. If they're racist, if they're negative towards the Raiders, they stay. Remember that. No, Donkey fans are welcome. Yes, they are, but the only one I might be a little more lenient on kicking out of here would be if a Patriot fan rolls in. Because I hate Patriots. I hate the Patriots more than the teams in our own division. I can't stand the Patriots. God, I hate the Patriots. So, again, phone lines are still open. Jeff's already sounds like, no, I've got a brand, and I don't want people being scared of coming in here. So I'm not corporate. I mean, if you got a problem with it, I'll take away your mod. I mean, if that makes you feel better, then you won't have to worry about it. I can do that for you. What's up, Slam and Sammy? I'm not a fan, but I'm respectful and try to give helpful advice. I respect the rabbit. No, you're cool when you come in. I like it when you're in here, Sammy. Yeah, because you were in the chat last night too. So, breaking news: they got Jeff. Blink twice if you need help. Nope, I'm good. I am fine. I don't have a problem with fans of other teams, man. They're fans. What are you gonna do? They're fans of another team, so they don't like the Raiders. Big deal. What's the difference? It's all peace and love. Just don't come in here and be an idiot. That's different. You come in here being an asshole, and yeah, you're not gonna last long in here. That's for damn sure. Absolutely not. So. Does anybody feel as though another team got better this past week in free agency or overall during this free agency? Like, what other teams do you guys feel as though actually improved since the start of free agency? So we're a week and a half in the free agency now, the official from like Wednesday to now of last week, Wednesday, where they've actually signed players and brought players in, for certain and everything. Who feels as though that, what teams do you think out there really improved? I know we feel as though we improved, other than the Raiders. Ravens fans should be on probation. That one I would actually agree with. I want Raiders to be the best they can, but I always know we get the Raiders best every time we play them. I forget, Sammy, who are you a fan of? What team? I know you've said it before. I just don't remember, and I apologize for not remembering that. Just a thing, Gabe, but yeah, no difference. Eagles stacking. Yeah, they are. I think the Eagles are. I think they're restocking for another run at some point. And I don't totally disagree with that either. Seahawks, I think, are going to take a step back. They'll still be in the mix. They'll still be in the playoffs, but will they win the Super Bowl again? I don't think so. I really don't think they will. I think the Rams could have possibly made it last year for sure. I think I could see the Rams in there. I don't think the Patriots would be back in the Super Bowl. They got a tough schedule next year. They had too easy of a schedule last year. You know, I'm not sure if you call them the Cheats or the Queefs. I was a Rams fan until 2016, though I'm a St. Louis boy. Okay. What's up, Mike Guerrero? What's going on, man? If I had to look at a roster, yeah, the Patriots, I don't think they're going to be in it next year. I mean, what teams? I mean, could the Bears be back there? Yeah, I think Detroit takes another hit, though. I think Detroit's really had a hard time after losing both their offensive and defensive coordinator. That hurt them bad. I'll tell you what, quietly in the NFC, watch out for the Giants. I think the Giants could be primed to do some serious damage in the NFC East. You know, between the coach, some of the moves they've made already, you know, they sneakily had a really good defense. And keep in mind, Thibodeau was out for a good part of the season last year on their defense. I think the Giants could really make a move next year to step up in that division. Cowboys are going to do cowboy things. They always do. Commanders, I think they're going to come back a bit now with, you know, once Jaden Daniels, hopefully he should be good to go. Eagles, I think the Eagles got a little bit better. Yeah, I agree, Frank. I think the door is definitely closing on Detroit. You know, I think the best they got was not last year, the year before, and then they just dropped. I still think, I'm telling you, I think the Giants can make some serious moves during the season next year. Not moves like player moves, but I think moves within the division and actually really doing something good, turning their shit around. Well, think about it. They're going to have a second-year quarterback, a second-year running back. You still have Malik Neighbors as your wide receiver. You just brought in Isaiah Likely, which is a great tail end. Their offensive line is pretty solid. Their defense is good, and they're young. They got another early draft pick, and there's a lot of good defensive players in the early part of this draft where they're going to be able to snag another good one. Or they go an offensive lineman. Who knows what they do with their first pick in this first round. You know, so they're only going to solidify their roster even more, having, you know, a pick of pretty much what they want on defense. I mean, shit, Caleb Downs could be there for them at what do they got? Number 7, I think it is, or 6. I think it's 7. Let me double check that. I want to look right now. 5, actually. They got the number 5 pick. You know, so they don't need a quarterback. They don't need a running back, obviously. Maybe they could use a second wide receiver, but I mean they could go wide receiver for all we know. Dallas, like I said, Dallas is just Dallas. They're just gonna do shitty. They're just gonna do shitty no matter what. Giants definitely cooked this offseason, but they weren't that good beforehand. I think they'll be most of. You can remember though, last year Scatterbo went out early. You know, thank God they had Tracy, who I thought was a really good running back. And I had him on my fantasy team, and he did wonderful for me down the stretch. And then you got Jackson Dart. Again, you got Malik Neighbors. I mean, you've got the makings of a good team, but now you've got a good head coach in Jim Harbaugh. So I think that team has definitely changed. Definitely changed. Most people have them mock draft styles of Tate. See, there you go. There's your wide receivers for them. You know, you put that opposite of Neighbors, damn. So let me see. So if I pick, who do they pick? Yeah, I just did a quick mock draft for the first round. They take Carnell Tate based on this. Yeah, I mean, they pass up on guys like Lomo, Reese, Caleb Downs, but they get that wide receiver. I mean, then you look at some of these other teams. Minnesota, I don't know what the hell Minnesota is going to do. You got 3 guys up there that could start as a quarterback up there right now. We're just going to throw all 3 in the room and let them duke it out. Whoever comes out is the starter. You got a midget, you got an old dude, and you got a third-year rookie, basically. I'm calling it a third-year rookie because he hasn't really even played a full season. The first year, bang, out for the season. Second year, So it's like you don't even know what you really got with J.J. McCarthy right now. So the Chicago, I think, is going to bounce back. They again worked on their offensive line. I'm just trying to go through the teams in the league that I think might have an improvement so far. Have an injury-prone QB. Who are you referring to? You talking about the Vikings, Leo? What's up, Leo? I think the Rams make a push for this year because, this could be the last year for Stafford, too. He's not getting any younger. He's one of the older QBs in the league now. So, yeah, I can see the Rams. Yeah, McCarthy. Yeah, he's extremely injury prone. He hasn't played a full season since he's been here. So you don't even know what you really got with him. You haven't seen shit, to be honest with you. I'm glad we didn't take him. I wanted no part of him either. It's going to be interesting this offseason. It's going to be interesting in the draft, too, what some of these teams do. Buffalo, I think they've put themselves in a little bit better of a position now, too. Jets are just still going to be the Jets. They're horrible. Like Raider fans who feel we don't know what we have in ALC 12. Yeah, we do an injury-prone backup. Yeah, but I'm not pushing him out there as a starter like they have in Minnesota, and then bang, he gets hurt right away. Oh, Bowers, you kidding me? I'm so glad we ended up with Bowers that season. Fuck yeah. Anything else would have been a disaster as far as I'm concerned. But, Dolphins, I don't know what the hell they're doing, although I still think they fleeced the Broncos with that trade. I don't know what the hell the Broncos were thinking. I really don't. I wouldn't have given up a first-round pick for Waddle. Not at all. Phone call. You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State your name and the team you rep.
Hey, what's going on, Jeff? It's Arnie.
Hey, what's up, Artie? What's going on, brother?
Nothing, man. Nothing. I'm just, I'm pretty excited as a Raider fan for the season, man. I think we did what we had to do in free agency. I think we got the right coaches in line. We're looking at just progressing, getting better talent-wise in each position group on our team. Mm-hmm. And I feel that we got the right people to do it. Kubiak, Spytek, everybody's on the same page. We don't have an old team. We're not, nothing but players that are under 30. This is a young team that's coming up, and we're just going to have more talent in this draft. So
yeah, we're going to get even younger. In 3 weeks or 4 weeks, we're going to get even younger again with what we're going to bring in for draft talent. The oldest player on the roster right now is going to be Colton Miller, I think. He's up there. I think he's going to be the oldest or close to it. So it's nice to see this.
Just really happy about that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm thoroughly happy with this. You kidding me? That's why I'm not a big fan of bringing in an old ass quarterback or an older running back or This is a youth movement. This is moving the team in a different direction, not relying on old wily vets. It's time to, we got to move along. We got to start addressing things, and a youth movement is the way to go. Mm-hmm. And we're definitely doing that. And Leo says he's got your jersey, by the way.
Oh yeah.
He says
he's got the Geno jersey for him. He's got a Geno jersey for him. It's clearance one. But I was looking around like at all the draft picks the last 5 years. You know, everybody in the first round, and everybody does start. Nobody sits. So for me, I don't think Spytek is going to get a veteran. I think he's just going to run it with AOC is going to be the starter, and then it's going to go right to Mendoza, and he'll probably pick just an undrafted free agent to be on our bench.
Yeah,
the system.
That's what Nate and I said.
I think it's cheaper.
We were talking about that. It's like I at this point, I don't think we're going to bring anybody in either. I think it's going to be we're going to go with those two, and then we're going to draft one. Or we're either going to draft one in the last round or two, or like you just said, an undrafted free agent. You know, just so because we need three. We got to have a third guy.
Yeah.
You know.
But I had a question for you, Jeff.
Sure.
You know, just honestly, last year's draft, which one of those draft picks do you really think Pete had the big influence on other than Genty? Because I think the ones that he didn't play are the ones he didn't want. What's your opinion on that?
Who do I think was the one that he wanted the most out of who was picked? Like, was his doing?
We're Pete Carroll's picks. Which one of those draft picks was Pete Carroll's pick?
I think they all were his, to be honest with you. But I think Darian Porter was the guy that was probably the one that he pushed for the most, I think. I'm still shaking I scratch my head on the movement to move up in the second and take the guy that we took. And I still have faith in Betch. I really do. I want to believe that this kid can turn into something. You know, and I'm saying that because he's a second round pick. You want to see that pick hit. You don't want to see that pick fall. That's a valuable pick. You know, that's the same thing going into this season, this draft. You know, if we take, say, Lee Hunter, I don't want him to falter. I want it to be a legit pick. That's a valuable pick in the second round. Your first pick, your first round to your fourth round, you expect to either be starters or severe contributors to this team. You know, Betch was not a big contributor. Thornton was not a big contributor.
No.
You know, Rogers and Grant were not major contributors until Rogers very late in the season. You know, when he took over the starting spot just out of necessity because we were just so bad. You know, Porter didn't get enough time out there too. So
he didn't.
Genty was the safest pick last year. It was the only pick that made any sense whatsoever out of anybody that we drafted. I'm sorry. You know. But I think Porter was definitely one that he was probably pushing for, would be my take on that question.
Yeah, I was for me, I felt like Pete Carroll was stuck in like an old Seattle legacy. He was trying to bring back Lockett, trying to bring back all these old stone cold foresight from the Seattle, and he was just going with veterans. And I mean, and that stunned the growth of all these players that were drafted. I mean, we had a bad record. You might as well start them. Let them play. Let them get their bumps the first year. Yeah.
No, Leo, fourth round too should be contributors. Not saying starters, but they should be contributing to the team also. Anything after that,
or
if they contribute to the team from fifth round on, then that's a bonus.
At least let them rotate. At least suit them up. So that, you know, a lot of times they put Rogers. He couldn't play. He couldn't play at all, and he was healthy scratches. And that's not going to help a rookie.
Yeah, especially when he pushed all week saying, he's going to start this weekend. And all of a sudden Friday afternoon comes and the report comes out, boom, scratch. I'm like, what? You just said all week he's going to start.
And then I don't know what Pete Carroll's deal was about compete. And then it was just always Kappa against JPJ. I didn't see no other position there was no compete other than that position.
No, you're right.
It kind of frustrated me all season. There was no other compete in any other position.
No, not. I mean, there was, but not to the dramatic sense that JPJ was.
It was
to the point where he ended up getting benched at one point for Kappa. Come on, man. You know, then they move Kappa to center, and then all of a sudden JPJ comes back in again. You know.
Yeah.
I didn't say starters. I said contributors, Leo.
Yeah, but all these rookies needed snaps. They needed snaps. At least special teams. Give them something. Where they could play at least.
Based on how our team was in the games that we weren't winning, and how bad we were losing, These guys should have been in way sooner. Way sooner. I honestly thought that Caleb Rogers was going to be starting before the bye week. Because I'll tell you what, when he finally did get the chance to play and I saw what he was doing on the field, I felt comfortable to say that he should have been starting way sooner than what he should have, because what I saw from him was a talented kid that just wasn't getting a fair shake. And now everything comes out after the season was over and on the coaching issues, and it makes sense as to why they didn't get him out there. They just didn't want to play them, plain and simple. That's what it came down to.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Jeff, is going to be the biggest camp battle? What position do you think is going to be the biggest camp battle, but with the free agents we have right now in there and our current roster as we have it? What do you think is the biggest battle?
I think it's going to be whatever we're going to do on the right side of that line, offensive line between guard and tackle. Like I said earlier, I think we should. I think the way that I feel the offensive line should be set up, it should be Colton Miller, JPJ on the left side, Linderbaum at center, and I think out of the two remaining, the right guard and the right tackle, it should be a fight to the death. But Grant, Rogers, Buford, and Glaze, they should fight it out for those two positions, and may the best man win. Whoever comes out on top for those two positions, they should all be intertwined. Give them shots at tackle, give them shots at guard, because we've already talked about people bringing up the fact of moving Glaze inside at guard and trying Grant here, trying Caleb, Rogers here, Buford or whatever. Same thing with him too. Let's see who fits what position on that right side. I want that left side locked down tight. And by putting JPJ over there with Miller and Linderbaum sealing in the middle with the three of them, I think that left side's going to be huge. Absolutely huge.
Are you Jeff, are you enticed with any of the running backs in this draft that maybe we can get in the later rounds to help Ginty not get as many carries as he's going to get? Because, Lobby's the only guy, and Collier are the only other guys on the depth chart.
Yeah, that's all we have right now. That's all we have. I know in the mock drafts I've run myself, Keelan Black has been there late. Washington, I think it is. I'm not big on the running backs. I don't know who's the best ones. I just know Keelan Black from watching, some of the Indiana.
From Indiana, the Hoosiers. Yeah. Indiana Hoosiers.
And he's been damn good. Is there still something we can pick up in free agency as a running back? Because look, we're not looking for the guy to come in and carry 20 times in a game. Okay. We're looking for a guy that's going to come in and take the pressure off of Ginty so he can rest for half a series or whatever. Give him a breather. So we're not beating the shit out of this kid, putting him out there running the ball 32 freaking times, So
I was looking up, you know who Jeremiah Love is, right? Jeremiah
God,
Love.
yeah.
He's from Notre Dame. Well, his running mate, his name is Price. His last name is Price.
And I've seen that name. I've drafted him a couple of times at mocks too.
I think he'd be perfect with Ginty. He'd be perfect, a running mate with Ginty. He knows how to work with another back. He knows the other back's going to be the superstar. He's the backup. But he still will relieve him, get him the carries, and he's a good catcher of the ball too. Leo could probably give you more insight on that, being a Notre Dame fan. But him and Fields I'm kind of Malachi Fields. I'm kind of intrigued with him too as a wide receiver, and adding that third down guy to get you that first down to go along with Bowers on our team. So that's Raider talk. But thank you, Jeff, for everything. I know you probably have a lot more calls and stuff, but thank you for answering my questions.
I appreciate you, Arnie.
Have a good night, and this is a daily Raider therapy session with Dr.
Well, tomorrow
Jeff
night's the bona fide 100% strictly Raiders talk tomorrow night. So
I know this is all NFL right now. Hey, so wait, let me ask one side question here.
Sure.
So what are you thinking about this succession plan for Mark Davis? What are you thinking about this?
It's a smart business move. We have to do something. He's got nobody to take over the team if something happens to him. So they have to have some sort of succession plan set up, and this is what they're doing with this. Because again, if he were to decide to sell the team, or not so much sell the team, but if say he were to suddenly just pass away, now it's a mess because there's no clear, succinct person to take over the team. Now this will put that in action. Once the NFL owners approve it, which I can't see they won't, it's one way to secure the team to stay in Vegas and not have any problems. And it's only a good thing for the NFL, because you don't want a team that is without an owner and going through all this bullshit, especially if it happens in the middle of the season. That's the last thing you need, because now there's so much more involved in it. Financial, legality.
Did you hear anything, Jeff, about the guy that is the succession plan, the one they have on there? Who is
Egon. Egon.
Yeah, Egon.
I love the name. Well, I said it last night. I said, "Well, I think I hear the name Egon. All I think is Ghostbusters from the '80s."
I was just going to say that.
He's like the co-CEO of Silver Lake Entertainment or Investments. So he's part of a big corporation, basically. But I do know that if this all goes through and this guy ends up, if it happens the way he does eventually buy the team or whatever, it's automatically going to shoot the value up of the team up to like over $10 billion. So it's good. It's only another good thing for the team too. So
okay.
So he's already part of a minority group owner on this, and that's why you're seeing reports of Mark selling more minority shares too on the team. So
I kind of figured that. They wanted cash on hand for the signing bonuses and restructure contracts and all that good stuff that we need.
Yeah, it's all for the good. People took it the wrong way when it first came out yesterday, because I saw a bunch of people posting like, "Oh, they're selling the team. Mark's selling the team." No, that's not what this means. So.
Hey, but I did have a question for the whole group. If anybody wants to answer, is what is the best move that Spytek did this offseason? And I'll tell you what mine is right now. That I was surprised with that he did. That I didn't think he could have done, and he did it. And it's getting a draft pick for Geno Smith. I would have never thought he would have got a draft pick for Geno Smith at all. I just never would have thought that. I would have never thought that.
I'm not going to disagree with that, because I honestly thought it was going to come down to us cutting him and having to eat that 18 mil. So not only did he trade him away, gave a draft pick away, cut our dead cap space in half that we were going to be liable for him, and he got a 6th-round pick back.
Yes.
That's why I said it when it happened. What kind of voodoo magic is this guy working this season on teams? It's like, good God, that was amazing.
But get this, Jeff. How about if that 6th pick we get Drew Aller and he becomes our 3rd-string quarterback, and then next year becomes our backup quarterback, and we got him from Geno? Can you imagine that?
You know what? Whatever. What happens, happens.
That's karma. That's just straight karma. We got a good backup offer.
I would find it hilarious if anything we get at that 6th round pick turns into be a starter or a major contributor going forward, because it'd be like, hey, we got something good out of losing Geno. Thank God, because we gave up a 3rd rounder to get the son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, Jeff. Well, I'll let you get back to your callers and stuff, Jeff.
Thanks, bro.
Have a great show tonight. I like everything you talk about. And the truth is always with Jeff. Listen to him every night.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Shout out to Monster Meat Mac with a $2 super chat. He says, I think Glaze will be better, bad coach and scheme. Oh, without a doubt. I'm not done with Glaze. I'm not giving up on the kid. I've got faith that he'll be able to turn this around, without a doubt. Let's see. People, look, I just get tired of being called tripod. That's funny. See, Cleon back in. Maybe on Moss, a great day 3 running backs possibility. What's up, Jeremy? Defense will be insane. I'm impressed with what we've done so far. Let's see, Vega, I own, like your life dependent on it. Let's see, what else we got here? Fields, wide receiver. Malachi, I don't have a problem with him. I kind of like him too. It's an interesting round 3 pick or move up if the Raiders executives want to move up from the 3rd to the 2nd. And that's the other thing. I'm curious to see what kind of movement we do in this draft. I want to see what SpyTech actually does, because I really don't think any of those moves last year in the draft were SpyTechs. Those were all Pete. And Pete was always known for moving around in the draft, too. Monster Mac says Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker hands down went from Landon Roberts and Devin White to two young guys with promise overnight. Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody's ecstatic with these two guys coming in here. You know, their history together in Georgia, you know, what they've already done in the NFL, and now they're back together again, playing side by side in on defense. Damn. I got no arguments there, you know. Let's see. Steve, what's up, Stevie? It's all Pete's fault. Everything's Pete's fault. You know that. He built basically in the type. It seems like this defense was totally revamped. I mean, let's put it this way: Max left the Raiders, went to Baltimore. We did a whole bunch of moving and bringing in people. He came back and he's like, God damn, this defense is all completely different. He came back to a completely different defensive room than what it was when he left. You know, in that short time frame that he was gone, that team just like, we did a 180. We just flipped it right around on him. You know, and he comes walking back in. He's like, who's this guy? Who's that guy? Who's this guy? Who's that guy? Can't wait for Gino to give a bird to the fans. Oh, they'll eat him alive. Hey, we'll get to see him next year, too, because we're playing the Jets in New York. So, Jeff, what do you think of the virtual measurement first down? I know they were playing around with it during preseason last year. You know, the only shitty part about that, in all honesty, is I know it's, you know, getting up with technology and keeping up with the times and shit. I get that, you know. But, you know, some of these guys that are part of the chain gang, these guys have been doing this freaking years, you know. These guys have been doing this for decades, doing that job. You know, you're taking jobs away from these guys, you know. I still think they're going to have a chain gang on site just in case as like a backup. But, I mean, this, I don't know. It just screams the blue line on the hockey arena when they had not the blue line, but the puck marker, when the puck would be on the screen. And I think it was Fox that did it, where they had like the color spot to follow the puck around. It's almost like how fast that died out. That didn't last long because it was just ridiculous. I'm just curious to see how it works out in actual game time, like, you know, not a preseason game, like a regular season game, how that works out. Like when's the first time it's going to become an issue, you know, because you know somebody's going to raise a stink about it somewhere along the line. Yeah, but I think there's a time and a place for AI sometimes, you know, but how virtual is that though? That's going to be more of it's going to be some sort of a chip in the ball that's going to be, you know, marking the spot on the field. I know there's commercials years ago where, you know, these new NFL fields are being integrated, you know, where they're putting something inside underneath the field where, you know, they're going to get to this point at some point, what they're talking about now. So it's only a matter of time before the rest of the field becomes more AI, I guess, or more virtual reality involved. I mean, shit. I mean, Christ, you know, 50 years from now, it might not even be real players out there. It might just be holograms. So you got to watch a little bit of Quay Walker tape. If he can work on his coverage, he can be in a league for secondary. I hope so, man. Let's see, aside from Mendoza, wide receiver, a DB, I'm not sure what Raiders will draft. I mean, we definitely need a nose tackle. That's a given. That's a given. Well, it's not the chain gang that gets the stuff wrong. It's the refs. So those guys on the sidelines, they're just the guys holding the chains up. The refs tell them where to stand. So it's the refs that fuck up, not those guys. Remember ref getting the card? Oh, yeah, the fucking index card bullshit. I hated that. What's up, Alex? Let's see. Where did Tyreek Hill go? He hasn't gone anywhere yet. Ayuk hasn't gone anywhere yet either. The only one The only big wide receiver right now so far is Waddle being traded to the Broncos, which is crazy. I'm not drinking off-season hype. It's same shitty results every season, I believe. Till we say, and I said that I'm not biting that apple this year. I'm gonna wait and see what happens because I'm not falling for it. You fool me once, you got me last year. You got me all excited for last year with Pete Carroll. I'm excited for what this year is going to bring, but I'm not putting a number to how many games we're going to win, or if we think we're going to make the playoffs, or I just want to see results on the field. I want to see the defense stopping teams from scoring and keeping games respectable. If we win games, we win games. If we lose, we lose. I just want to see us be competitive. I want to see us be in games. I don't want to see us get shut out multiple times in the season. I don't want to see that determination when they're on the field. I don't want to see what I saw in Philadelphia. Is basically what it comes down to. I saw a team out there with no heart, no desire, just nothing. They were as flat as could be. I spent all that time and money to go to that game, and what I saw on the field absolutely disgusted me. I've never walked away from a game, whether it be on TV or in person, so disgusted in my life as I did that game. That was absolutely disgusting. So aggravated. It's fucking gross. Let's see, that's the smart way to go about it, my guy. What's up? Where's the flag? Hey, still towards his hologram. Yeah, right. Well, it'll be like the Fox commercials with Cletus, the robot. That's what they'll have. They'll have robotic football players out there at some point in the future, like the true NFL battle bots. Arnie, question: what is our biggest need position after QB, second and third? Defensive tackle. If we don't get a nose tackle in the second round, I think that's a big mistake. And we got to get one of those two at least, either Hunter or McDonald's. I want either one of them. I don't want Banks. Not really a topic. Friday nights is more of a general football talk, not necessarily a Raiders. Tomorrow night will be a Raiders themed discussion. Jason will not be on with me tomorrow night, so I'll be flying solo, taking phone calls tomorrow night for the Raider Nation Voices. Let's see. Yeah, Stevie, anything goes. Yep. I said 2-15 week 2 of last season, the NFL. Yeah. I hate to be negative, fan base. The last time I was happy was 02-03 season. Let's hope we get that same feeling this year. If not this year, but then at least the next couple of years. That's how I look at it. Like I said, what happens this year happens. I'm not expecting, playoffs and all that other crap. If we make the playoffs, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. If we don't, yeah, we got next year. Back to the drawing board. Let's reload and let's see how we can improve from 2026 in 2027. Again, as long as we're showing progress and moving forward, that's all I care about. So, I'm at the 2-hour mark now. I'm going to close the phone lines. Let's see. I will be back on tomorrow night with Raider Nation Voices. I may have somebody on with me tomorrow night, but it won't be Jason. I haven't heard back from this gentleman yet to see if he is going to be able to do it or not. But we will see. We will see. So I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Thank you for all the phone calls that we received tonight. Brought in a total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8 or 9 phone calls tonight. So I appreciate everybody that did call in. Shout out to anybody that subbed tonight. I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. The super chats, thank you for the super chats. Without you guys, without the support, whether it be through memberships, which right now my memberships, I do have the low cost of 99 cents a month. So if you want a membership, grab it. It's 99 cents. I plan on doing some membership only things going forward after the draft. Once I get back from the draft and kind of settle into the remainder of the off season, I will be doing some more member only type stuff. So if you want to grab your membership, don't forget, grab it now. But yeah, thanks to the moderators for helping keep everything clean, no spam, no bullshit tonight. So Like I always say, everybody, stay safe, go Raiders, and I'll see you all tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. Go Raiders, baby.